Yeah. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it. I'm telling you why, you can see in their eyes, them boys ain't playing, they ready to ride. Shaking the tunnel, just screaming and yell, if you ain't ready, you get eaten alive. Taking the field with loads of passion, swagging out with the flyest fashions. Cameras out and they steady flashing, captains out, we about to get it cracking. Full of crashing in between those lines. You boys, we about to ride, we a band of brothers and we stick together like an army mission when it's wartime. We stacking them W's, pay attention. Opponents coming with apprehension, we stay on top of our division. Went from BCS buses to playoff contenders. We on the rise up, now the boys mad. We have to tighten them boys up. We here for the crown. We on the rise up, now the boys mad. We have to tighten them boys up. We here for the crown.
Welcome back to another week, Utah fans. It is the Utah Football Fans Podcast. Gary, Bryn, James. Please like, subscribe, follow Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Anything else?
Spotify.
Yeah, all the places where you listen to podcasts. So we spent a few days together in Arizona. We all survived.
It was too long.
We were there.
We all survived each other. Quick shout outs. Greg Bird, it was great to see you in the AZ. We got to sit with him at the game.
AZ.
In the AZ.
He's the honorary member of the podcast crew.
So that was fun. And then we wanted to give a shout out to listener Parley Baldwin.
He and I peed in the same bathroom at the same time.
So we had to.
It's true.
It is, yeah. Well, so we stayed in Scottsdale, so we had to drive to Tucson for the game, and in the middle of the desert, middle of nowhere, in this random tiny little gas station, was Parley, and he's a listener. So we ran into each other. So that was
fun.
fun.
When you're world renowned like we are, you're gonna run into people everywhere.
We're such celebrities. So thanks for listening, Parley, and that was great. In a gas station bathroom.
Gas station bathroom.
In Arizona.
In the middle of the desert. Well, the game, I wouldn't say was fun, but we had a good time in Arizona.
I haven't been that stressed out in a game for a very long time.
I'm glad my voice has come back because I yelled a little much at the refs.
Yeah. There was a lot about that game that was frustrating, but it was just one of those games where it felt like a trap game kind of going into it. We're obviously the better team, but just, man, it was a struggle. It was a struggle.
Yeah, it was a struggle. Some self-imposed injuries in that game.
Oh, a lot of self-imposed.
I mean, it just was. But, no, it was a win's a win. We got it.
Yeah, I mean,
the adversity,
we all gonna be pretty. So,
though with the adversity and the difficulty, they fought through it and we got the win. So a win's a win is a win, and I'm just glad we got it. That would have been a catastrophe, but hey, we won it. So let's talk a little bit about Arizona, but maybe not a lot.
Yeah, about 3 minutes
because we got
all it deserves.
The big one coming, but well, let me ask this. I mean, it's fun to travel with the team. I've not been to Arizona.
And there's
the
no
Wildcats.
reason to ever
So
go
tell
back.
me, what did you, their stadium?
It's such garbage. I'll be very honest. Tucson's a dive.
Yeah.
It's a hole in general. Okay? The stadium,
So anybody who's from
if you're
Tucson,
from Tucson,
don't-
you can agree with me.
Yeah, don't take it personally.
Don't
It
take
was-
Here,
don't take it personal.
I'll speak in generalities here, okay?
I'm just asking the stadium. Dude.
There's nothing special about it. It was kind of cool. It's very obvious that there's the old original stadium, and then they've built around it and kind of built out. That part was kind of neat, I guess.
That's an old stadium.
But it is old. You're still peeing in troughs next to strangers.
Well, I wouldn't know about that, but from the outside, the stadium looked decent. Like it actually looked newer, and then you got inside, and yeah, in the bathroom, there was about 4 stalls in the women's room, and they were, I mean, you couldn't even shut the door. It was so compacted and
That's
small.
why I always just go with the door open.
Yeah, well,
It
there
provides
you go.
content.
So yeah, nothing special
Nothing
about the
special.
stadium.
There was nobody there. Again,
It's not surprising because they have a terrible record.
They had more people than I thought they were going to
Same,
have.
and I'll be really honest. I'm actually really surprised that they've struggled. They've got talent. They're not a terrible team. The fact that they've won one game in 2 years. Does kind of surprise me. They came out and showed up. I'll give them credit. But as far as Arizona, the stadium, I have no reason to ever go back. Honestly,
We checked it
Unless
off
it was
the
a big
list.
game.
Even
If
that.
there's a big game in the future that it really mattered, then maybe. But otherwise, we're just. I think we take for granted Rice Eccles because it's really nice.
Oh, we do. Big time.
It's fantastic what has taken place up there on the hill. When you compare these other stadiums, particularly this one, this has been around a while, and that's what you said. They've built upon it. So yeah, it's nice, but it's not as nice. It's old, and we have a great stadium. Now, as far as the game goes, generally speaking, we dominated the game if you look statistically. I mean, let's see, we had 26 first downs. They had 16. Total yards, we had 468. They had 329. Passing, we 294, almost 300 in the air.
That one surprised me. I did not see that one coming. At the
I
end
mean-
of the game, I looked it up and I went, we almost had 300 yards in the air.
They
That
had
surprised me.
227, which surprised me as well. As far as rushing, we had 174. They had 102, and on and on and on and on. And the time of possession and stuff like that. What hurt us was some untimely penalties, some of which were legit, and some that were not. And then, of course, the block punt. We can talk about that in a second and the issue with that. But to me, it was I can't remember. Was there like 3 or 4 third down situations where we're getting them off the field and there was a penalty?
Yeah.
Big time.
A couple were legit.
Yeah.
A couple were garbage. That's what really hurt us. And then, of course, the score, those 38-29, 7 points came off of a punt return. So the D didn't give up 29. It was,
Right.
it was 22. So
By the way,
Anyway.
I just looked it up. That stadium was originally built in 1929, and then they just kind of added to it from there. And
Well, the bathrooms are the same.
shows. Yeah, it's the
The bathrooms
Great
were the
Depression.
exact same.
It's a Great Depression stadium that they're playing in. So there you have it. So yeah, you're exactly right. Like there were so many times where we were off the field, we stopped them, and then there was some phantom calls, some BS calls, a couple that were legitimate. We actually had a chance to talk to Scally after the game, and you could just tell he was exhausted of it. And he said it's really hard when your livelihood depends on 17 to 20-year-olds doing what you tell them to. But we also talked
That sucks.
It does suck. We talked to Kafusi after the game. He had one of the penalties. It was a roughing the passer. He hit him in the head, and he kind of told us it's just so hard. You're going full speed. You're trying to knock the ball down as the guy throws it. He comes down. He told us that he thought he hit him on the back. Like that, it happens so fast. Hit him on the helmet. The drive continues, and I don't remember if they scored on that drive or not.
It wasn't just defensively, though. There was I can think of 2, especially where we had big offensive plays, like
The one to Cubby.
first downs and then holding call. Brought it way back, and then it's like our momentum couldn't progress forward. I mean, that happened a couple times at least. So it was happening on both sides.
One issue, we didn't cause any turnovers that game. Arizona is dead last in the country when it comes to turnover margin. They're 130th of 130 programs, and we could not force a single turnover.
That's frustrating.
That was very frustrating. I expected us to win that battle by 2, if not more. So
I don't know. I think the penalties hurt us. They got points off of some stuff. I mean, we had a face mask that was legit, but I think that was a third down. Kept the drive going.
third down.
We did have the Kafusi. That's legit. As
sucky and dumb as it
as
is.
stupid as it was, that was legit. But now, there were 2 third down plays. One was on Plummer, where it was Cole Bishop. Just drilled the dude, and they thought it was targeting up front, which it wasn't, but they still called
Roughing the passer.
They still called roughing the passer, which gave them a first down where they go off the field. That was a garbage call.
The ball was 3 inches from the guy's hand, Bishop didn't take any extra strides, blast him, completely legal, but because they called it rough in the passer with targeting, they couldn't take it back.
And then there was, again, it was Cole Bishop, but it was it was third down, and it was on a passing play. The guy was overthrown, so the guy had to jump in the air.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one.
So the guy leaped to get it. Well, Bishop was just playing the player. He didn't know he wasn't going to catch it, so he missed the ball, came down. As soon as he touched the ground, Bishop lit him up. Mm-hmm. It called unnecessary roughness.
Yeah. Unnecessary roughness.
So those two were crap. So it was that kind of stuff that actually hurt us.
Yeah, it's momentum shifts. Those things are huge.
Well, it's third down. We get the ball back.
Yeah.
And at those points of the game, that's four possessions.
4 possessions.
Even if it's just the 2 possessions on the BS calls. But fortunately,
we pulled it out. And
I that blocked punt was right in front of us. I mean, you could hear it. You could see it coming. I don't know what the issue was going on there.
Well, Whittingham, I don't know if you...
Yeah, I listened to it.
He addressed it. He goes, it wasn't the punter's fault. He kicked it within the 2 seconds.
The time frame,
which is the normal time frame. It was the blocking scheme, the gap up on the line, and then the
wall in front.
The wall in front. They were just the schemes or the blocks. That was the mistake, and they're all over him. Bottom line is, if that isn't cleaned up, that's going to kill us somewhere.
I don't know what happened to our special teams.
We're going to lose because of it.
But between multiple blocked punts and multiple kickoff returns for touchdowns this season, I don't know what's going on with our special teams.
Though there was one play I thought was sweet, was the end of the first half. We had the ball, on the 3-yard line or something like that.
Yeah, 5 seconds
left.
5
seconds left, and we went for it. I don't know, the construction of that play was cool, and it was great. It was good. We got a touchdown out of it. Hopefully, we got some more of that up our sleeves because we need it. But that was big. That ended up being big. But before moving on to Oregon, though, tell me what you think about this. So as you mentioned, after the game, we hung around, talked to some of the players, took some pictures with the players. Maybe you've seen some of those pictures on Facebook and our Instagram page with Bam, with Nick Ford.
Bam is
with
probably the biggest guy I've ever met in my life.
With Lloyd.
Yes.
Okay. Big dudes, nice dudes. And
Very
we talked
nice.
to Kafusi. I guess the thing and then Coach Scally, because Jesse knows, you guys know him. That was, and so we're just sitting there talking to these guys, and out of uniform, out of their gladiator uniforms, you can talk to them like normal guys, though they're big. Just normal dudes and nice guys. Mm-hmm. Covey's out there looking at little babies and talking.
Well, one
to the
of
little baby, and we talked to his wife.
Yeah, the one guy, and see, this is what's so hard when they don't have their jerseys on. I don't know who a lot of them are. So I don't know who he is, but his wife was there and their little baby, and she was so cute. And, he's loving all over. And it's like, yeah, these dudes are just
young guys. Playing a football game. They don't want to lose either. They don't want to make mistakes. I just think sometimes we, in our fandom,
100%.
forget just that these are
dudes.
normal dudes. Yeah. And we just go, at least some people, just go out of their minds and want to kill everybody when there's the fumble or the block wasn't correct or something like that. But when I was talking to him, it reminded me, look, these are just normal young men playing a football game. And sometimes we just have to reel it in a little bit, understand that. I don't know if you feel that at all or not.
Most of the people who were hanging out there where we were, it's their families. It's the players' families. So like you're saying, it's like we get in that stadium and you're like yelling about somebody and you're upset. And then it's like you're standing next to that person's parents afterwards. Mm-hmm. And
his wife and daughter are like 3 rows behind you and you have no idea.
Yeah, so rein it in a little bit. But
I will say this.
Passion, but...
It's hard. A lot of them, when they're not wearing their uniform and a number, I don't recognize them. But Clark Phillips walked out. Mm-hmm. And as he walked by, I kind of said, hey, nice game, Clark. And I hit him on the shoulder. It was like hitting a brick wall.
That hurt, by the way.
Good. I mean, just solid. He's no bigger
No,
than
he's
I
not that
am.
tall.
He's not that tall. I think he's
Yeah,
my size.
height isn't, but
good grief.
well, I'm not saying that they're not
It was just impressive. I'm just saying.
physically it's
ridiculous.
it's
Also,
amazing.
I saw Cole, but I wussed out.
He did. His
man love.
He was
was
right there.
right
He was right there.
there. He was
He
right
chickened out,
behind
people.
us. You didn't
know.
say
I
anything.
know. It's
And Greg Bird, I am 5'1". By the way, I know in the pictures with Bam and Ford and Devin Lloyd,
Devin Lloyd.
I look like I'm
you look
a
like you're
child.
4'2".
I'm 5'1". They are huge.
Bam comes out and he's got like 12 piercings in his face. I mean, just like
That dude's intimidating, man.
super intimidating. So that part was pretty cool.
But Devin Lloyd, see, the picture with him's going to age very well. He just got an invitation to the Senior Bowl today. When he's in the NFL, I'm going to hold on to that picture forever.
Good
It's
for
great.
you.
I did not wuss out. He did.
He wussed out.
You know, I got.
So I do have a picture of you with him behind you.
I do have a feeling that a grown ass 35-year-old man walking up to a 20-year-old college football player,
He's
saying-
probably 21.
okay, 21, saying
22.
asking him for a picture is a little creepy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do it. Versus a female going up to Devin Lloyd,
Hey.
a little different.
Hey,
But if you know Cole, give myself a number.
you're never going to get that chance back.
That's not true. Don't you?
So it was fun. Arizona, it was great.
It was
It was
great to
freaking
leave.
hot for.
November.
I mean, it got to 90
yeah.
coming down. Fortunately, it wasn't the entire. It didn't feel like the entire game, but there was a portion of the game that was a little hot. I mean, it got hot, but then there was a breeze. The sun kind of went behind us a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to go to away games.
It is fun.
You got. If you haven't done it, go do it.
Put Arizona low on your list. I'm just being honest.
Yeah,
it's not.
But if you go to Arizona State,
That's okay. Next year, Arizona State, because it's right there.
Okay, we'll be
in
back.
the Phoenix area. I can do that.
just saying, go
We'll be back.
to different stadiums. They're all a
is
different
fun.
experience.
They're all different, and you're right. You'll appreciate what we have, and you'll appreciate not just the stadium, but the atmosphere that is created at Utah. It's special, man. It's different. There's just from the tailgating to the game day experience to the enthusiasm in the stadium. It's different. We're lucky. We're spoiled.
Student section, the musses. Section.
Yeah. Arizona had a student section of maybe 1,000 people,
Well, it was the whole end zone to end zone, but
there
was
only two
yeah.
sections.
Yeah,
Again, they're
they're struggling. So,
I know. I get it.
but there's literally nothing else to do in Tucson, so you'd think that they would be able to fill it up. But, anyways,
All right. Well, okay. That's Arizona. Let's get down to business.
let's leave it behind.
This week,
Who do we play this week?
Saturday, 5:30 p.m.
On ABC.
on ABC, Rice Eccles, we play Oregon. Number 3, of course, the college football playoff rankings came out today. Oregon is 3. Interesting, Ohio State's 4, right behind them. But Oregon is number 3. Utah came up a spot. We're at 23.
23.
This is it. I mean, this is it. This is big. This is big time. This is huge. The interesting thing is Utah is a 3-point favorite right now
It's so crazy.
in Vegas. I mean, it's
Well, they're favored by, it's like a 60-something% for us to win on the ESPN thing.
Oh, but that's ESPN. I'm talking about people whose money is on the Vegas. I mean, I just find it interesting. The number 3 team in the nation,
And we're favored.
We're favored.
23. I understand it's at home, but still, Utah's getting respect.
It's
However you want to look
essentially
at it.
a push. A home team gets an automatic 3 points.
Yeah.
So it's essentially a 0. I mean, it's a push. They're saying either team could win.
Which is true.
It is kind of crazy.
But that's what's so insane about it. They are ranked number 3, and they have us as dead even as you could be, and
One
the only
loss.
reason we're ahead is because it's a home game in Rice Eccles.
But that is
Essentially
a
what they're giving.
big advantage.
It is. Oh, it's huge. But it's just it's so
This
hard
is
to
the
fathom.
biggest game since last time we played Oregon in the Pac-12 championship game.
Yeah.
Where we got shellacked.
Oregon has become the
They
rival.
become our biggest foe. I don't know if they're our biggest rival.
Well, only because this is when we're always playing at these type of games.
Yeah, it's the big games. You know, it's really funny. So I'll say this. So you know how when we entered the Pac-12, it was joke from certain fan base was it's the 10.2 conference, meaning it's the 10 plus us in Colorado. I saw a tweet today that kind of said, you're right, it is the 10.2. It's all the other 10, and then Utah and Oregon have separated themselves to be the 2.
The last couple years.
And that's how it's become.
This game, this is why this game is so big. It's not like one team has a lot on it and the other doesn't. Both teams have massive implications to this game.
Yeah.
Oregon, so let's break down Oregon. And if I miss something, so of course they want to go to the playoffs.
If they want to go, they have to win this weekend.
So they have to win this game. Mm-hmm. Second, they don't have the North wrapped up.
No. So crazy.
So because they play us and they play Oregon State. So if they were to lose to us, they would not only lose their chance to play in the national championship or the Final Four, then they go to play Oregon State, which who knows? And if they were to lose to Oregon State, at that point, Oregon State would win the North.
Mm-hmm.
That's not being talked about. So it would be if they lost to us and Oregon State wins this weekend and beats ASU, that Civil War game becomes to win the North. Mm-hmm. That's huge.
So there's a ton for Oregon. So they're coming in here. They're not overlooking anything. Utah, if we want to win the South, we got to end it right. This will end it.
This ends it.
This will end it. If not, and ASU defeats Oregon State, then it all comes down to Colorado. We would have to beat Colorado. Of course, Arizona State would have to beat Arizona, which they will.
They will.
And so the ramifications of this game are massive. National TV, prime time. Man, this is what if you're not going to be to this game,
my
if you
stomach.
can't be hyped for this,
My stomach already. It's like I can't. We
sweet
still have
baby.
what, 4
this
days?
is so sweet.
it's Tuesday and like I think about it and I get like knots. It's weird.
Oh, that's gonna be nerve wracking.
Do you have the comparative stats?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, just go across. This is interesting, folks. The
I'll
comparative
try
stats.
and go kind of quickly, but
between Utah and Oregon.
This is side by side through the season. So
Season stats.
points per game. Oregon scores 35.3. Utah's 35.7.
So
essentially the same.
The same.
Points allowed. They allow 22.6. We're 23.8. For all intents and purposes, the same. Total yards, they're 441. We're 438. Pass, 213. We're 223. Rushing yards, 227. We're 214. Like, it is just crazy.
In 5 yards,
It's all just negligible. It's
We're just completely
insane
matched up.
how these two teams are almost identical. And it's not like, I think you mentioned this last week, it's not like they're throwing for a ton of yards, but we're rushing for a ton of yards. Both teams are very well balanced. The statistics are very, very even in all fields. It's just nuts.
do you have their defensive stats?
Yeah,
Hit them.
So passing yards allowed, they allow 248. We allow 207. They allow 120 yards rushing. We allow 140 in rushing.
It's gonna be such a battle. It's gonna be a hard game, people.
There you go.
I mean, it's
It's an amazing,
it's crazy.
the closeness of that.
But what's amazing about the close, so I can see why, according to the statistics, it's a push game. It's a Utah's favored by 3. It's a push, but it's also kind of crazy that they're 9-1, 8-1,
8-1.
8-1. We've lost 3 games. They've only lost like based off the statistics.
Well, they're number 3 in the
They're
country.
number 3 in
but
the
we have
freaking country.
You just spit on me.
Dude.
Look at that.
Like a loogie went flying through the air.
That was on my arm.
It's fine. It was a little one. It's
It's
fine.
sickening, man.
It's just crazy.
What I'm saying is they're 3rd in the country, and we have the exact same stats as they do.
Yeah, we don't
You know-
lose 2 garbage games early in the
Oh,
season.
that's the thing that pisses me off because
Okay.
we can't go down that road.
We're
but
here. Here's where we're at. Okay, I read the article about injuries, and this is interesting because we were at the game,
yeah,
and I was reading. I think it was the Desert News. No, maybe it was the Tribune about someone at the game and what they saw.
okay.
So we have someone said they saw Ford
On crutches?
on crutches.
I saw that.
And let me just say this: Ford had no boot.
No crutches.
Ford had no crutches. He was walking fine. I saw a quote by him. He goes, it was a hamstring issue that seized up on him. He said he's going to be fine, but he had no crutches, and he was walking fine.
We have photographic evidence that there's
That's
no
true.
crutches.
Also confirmed he's an Oreo guy. Confirmed.
He was
he offered you one.
Oreos.
Didn't
Offered
take
me
it,
one, I
dude.
didn't take it. I can't take that man's Oreos.
Now, I'll say this: so our center Melee, he was in a walking boot.
Whatever that means.
He didn't have crutches or anything, but he was in a walking boot. Don't know what that means.
Numb that foot up for that game. Also, get the snaps down like 4 inches. That's all I ask.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Can we go back to Ford? Have you heard all that he was playing with a sinus infection
Did
and
you
all
hear
of
that?
that on Saturday? And then last week he had a fever, I think is what it was. So he's been under the weather the last couple weeks.
He
He's
said
had great games.
He took a bunch
I
of
know.
medication for his sinus infection that super dehydrates you. So he was cramping up heavily on that last drive, and he was just like, I got to get through this. So he just
Maybe it's
powers through it.
was.
So that could be limping or whatever. He lost 17 pounds in that game, he said.
That's just
do you do
that's
that,
not
man?
healthy. That's insane. But
17 pounds.
let's hope he's healthy for this weekend because he's had some struggles. But like you said, he's had really good games the last 2 weeks.
The whole O-line has.
so. Then we lost Marks in the Arizona game. That's when the quarterback busted through the line and scored a touchdown. Marks was running after him. He came up lame.
Yep.
I'll say this: he did have a boot on. He had crutches, and he wasn't putting anything on that leg. So I'm not too optimistic.
Not a doctor, but
and he's
I've
already
been in that
filling in for
situation.
Broughton. So we got, let's hope. The other thing was, and everybody knows that Thomas didn't play. So tell what you heard when you went and talked to, was it Sly on the
Yeah, so it was a precautionary thing. So if that game had been Oregon, Thomas would have been playing. He has a minor case of turf toe. So it was a precautionary, hold him out, give him another week. Turf toe, though, it's a weird thing where
Stuff hurts, man.
It hurts, and as you're making any sort of cut, everything's on your toes,
Which he does all
which
the
he
time.
does all the time.
Yeah.
So it was kind of more of a hold him out. We think we can win this game without him, which obviously they did. But all signs indicate he'll be back for the Oregon game. But there was nothing said. All of a sudden we get to the game and Bird was there and he comes up and he goes, Thomas isn't playing. I haven't seen him warming
He
up.
hasn't warmed up.
Well, Whittingham has said he's not commenting on any injuries from here on out. So
Wow. Yeah.
whether season ending or not, he's just not commenting on anything.
And I'm with him. There's so many other things to worry about.
Yeah, but what I was saying though is people may wonder what's up.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's
You
going
talked to Sly on the side.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. I presume he's saying the truth on all that.
Well, and Sly told me, he goes, he said, I've had this injury before. He goes, it's just, you have to rest it. You just have to rest it. It's the only thing you can do.
Because we still rushed. Dude,
We still were fun. Yeah.
Pledger had over 100,
yeah.
2 touchdowns.
Pledger played so good, by the way. But it hurt. There were some plays where it's a 2-yard, and that physicality of Thomas was missed. There's no question about it.
But even Bernard, he had, the yards rushing were like 60 or something, but passing, receiving, he had 6. In other words, he was over 100 yards rushing and passing as well. So our backs are did some damage. So anyway, okay, the unis, man. Hopefully,
so excited
people, you've
for those.
seen the uniforms that we're going to be wearing.
If you haven't, go to the Facebook or Instagram. It's been posted a dozen times.
Well, and you have to watch the little video that came out of the guy painting those helmets. That is he is talented.
like, what was it, 100 and, how many helmets is it? 100 and something helmets by hand.
It has to be. And the detail that's on each of those. I had to watch that like 2 times. I was just fascinated by it. But it's such a cool story that goes along with it. So look up the Utah football Instagram and stuff today. They posted that. But
So
I'm
it's
excited.
Veterans Appreciation. It's the Veterans Appreciation Game.
Yes, salute America.
Salute America.
We better have a flyover.
That'd be, we will.
Oh, my gosh.
Our theme,
Just as the sun is setting.
our theme is
gonna
the
be so jacked.
USS Salt Lake City, a battleship. Was it a cruise ship? Yeah. A battle cruiser. I think in World War II. I think it's
It saw the most action of any
in the Pacific,
in the entire Pacific during all of World War II. What the hell was that? Golly. Yeah. So it saw the most action of any battleship.
So the colors are the battleship gray.
Yes, and everyone, we understand gray is not an official color of the university. Just have some fun in life.
It's cool. So it's gray and black.
Lighten the hell up. Good grief. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
Has a star
on one side
and the interlocking U's on the other.
The star is so they did one star instead of two, so that each player will have one. So there's 11 stars on the field, which represents a battle. So because
I think the 11 battles they were involved in.
So
it's an amazing. It's cool.
Which is cool. They did like these little detailed
there's
things.
Tons of symbolism on all over the uniform and the helmet.
Incredible.
Too.
The helmet.
They're so cool.
It's so stinking cool.
It's going to be fun. Be there. Be there early.
Be loud. Come
Tailgate.
on, people.
Look us up. We'll be there.
Even you West Side people that sit on the West Side in your chair seats.
In your overcoats.
Yeah.
Get up and yell. Come on.
No, it's not
Yell
the
and
West
scream.
Side. It's the East Siders.
It's the West and
No,
East.
it's the West
who are
Siders.
in their chairs and they're like, ugh,
I don't want to stand up.
stand up. All right? I understand you're 86 years old and you've been going your entire life.
Not all of them. We know someone who's in his 30s who sits over there. And
stand up, Winston, you freaking wiener.
Just be loud. The bus is going to be packed. It better be. Students.
There's
It's
no
gonna be
excuses.
loud.
There's no excuses. Kids soccer's over. Kids football's over. It's 5:30. Get a babysitter. If you don't have one, pay some dude.
Turn a movie on.
Leave
on. The kids. It's fine.
Leave the Cheerios out. They'll be fine.
All right, here we go. We're going to ask.
Don't try to get us back on track.
Here's where we're going here. Questions.
Here's another game.
I know.
No games. It's just the question. I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to say yes or no and why your answer. Don't be cheating on my page. Bryn's getting
I did not
heads
even
up on
look
you.
at it.
What the
He's getting a
freak
heads up on you.
I don't even know
Oh,
how to...
I'm going to look
Okay.
and cheat.
First of
Cheater.
all, I can't read, much
True.
less upside down. So I think you're
That's
safe.
true. You can't read anyway.
I can't read normal.
There's no sweat. All right. Yes or no, and why? You say what you say.
Okay.
We'll go right here. Is Utah the better team? Yes or no?
No.
Why? You just read the freaking stats. You just saw everything.
I just think they're so evenly matched. Mm-hmm. It'd be hard to say that Utah's obviously the record number one. I just think that Oregon, if anything, is slightly better team.
Bryn? Is Utah the better team? Utah fans, if you're listening, what do you think?
I don't know. I think I have to say no also for the same reasons.
I say
hate
no.
that. It pains me.
I say no. I mean,
Gotta be objective, though.
this game will determine it. But as of right now, I would say that number 3 Oregon, by what they've done, is the better team. And look, I'll say this: I've watched Oregon a few times. I think you'd have too. A few of their games, and the interesting thing, I watched the Ohio State game.
Yeah. Oh.
And then I think I watched the UCLA game and a couple others along the way.
I watched them play Stanford too.
And I watched them play who did they just play?
Wazoo.
Yeah.
Wazoo. Okay,
on
Washington
Saturday.
State. Then the thing about Oregon is they're cocky, so it makes me sick how they act. But they're very confident too. They don't panic. You can just watch the team, and even though it may not be going well, and in this case against Washington State, it was tied 14-14 at half. I was looking at them going, there's no panic. There's nothing wrong. There's just something about they just know they're good. They came out and kicked the crap out of Washington State after that. That's how it's happened this year in a number of their games that, they haven't blown someone out from the start to the finish. A team that's sort of been in the game, maybe even had the lead. I think UCLA had a lead at one time. Mm-hmm. But Oregon, they just have this ability. And that, to me, kind of sets them apart from the others. That's why they are so freaking good. And that, to me, is what's going to be a challenge for us, is that in the entire game, is whether we get a lead at some point or not.
It doesn't
Oregon's
matter.
not going away.
No, you could be up by 14 after the first half. Doesn't matter.
So
that game is so far from
this
over.
is from wire to wire, baby.
Yeah.
Well, and when I have watched them play a few times, and sometimes they look unbelievable. Sometimes they look kind of horrible.
So that's a
But
yes.
the good
Yeah,
teams,
exactly.
good teams find a way to win, which is what you're saying. That even though they're tied or even if they're down, they still find a way to win, even when they look crappy.
Yeah, I mean, they barely beat Fresno by a touchdown. Then the next week they go and beat Ohio State
Which they
at the
looked-
Horseshoe.
They looked fantastic at that
Then-
game.
Let's see. They lost to Stanford. That one's mind-boggling to me. Okay?
Yeah, it's weird.
They beat Cal by 1 score. UCLA by 1 score. They beat Washington by 10. They beat the crap out of Washington State. So it's it's like any team. It's all over the board. But you're right.
They find a way to
they
win.
They find a way to win. And it's not always pretty. It's not always smooth. But they got dudes. They got playmakers.
Okay. My question, and next question, I'll say. Can we stop Kayvon Thibodeaux? Now, you know who he is. He's the
They're
So
running.
he is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. That's
he's their D lineman.
he's the D lineman. If you watch Oregon play, you know exactly who I'm talking about. The guy is unbelievable. He didn't even play against Ohio State.
No,
by
he
the
was
way.
hurt.
He was hurt. But
I was hoping that injury would linger.
He
a
is
little
going to be
longer.
the number 1 pick in the draft. So, are we going to stop him?
No, he'll probably have 2 sacks in the game. But you have to find a way, and I don't know how they do it. I'm not a coach. But you have to find a way to neutralize him or run plays away from him. Make it so that he's irrelevant. Because he is going to have impact on the game. You just have to limit it. You
Is he
can't
number
stop the guy.
5? Is he number 5?
I think he's number 5. I'm pulling him up.
Look
right
for
now.
number 5 if you don't know his name.
No, I don't think you stop him. I mean, the fact you just said he's going to be like the number 1 guy drafted.
Yeah, he's number 5. Just
I
I'll
don't-
say this though.
They move him around,
They
too.
move
That's
him
the
around.
difficulty.
He's a defensive end, so he's on the end of the line. So there could be some plays that are called, and then you get to the line, you go, "Where is he? Okay, he's over here, so we're going to run the play the other direction." That sort of stuff happens.
Yeah.
But I will just say this: he's an incredible player. I know he's on Oregon, but enjoy seeing a guy like this play because he's going to be in the NFL for a long time.
Yeah, no, we're not going to stop him. I don't even think we're going to neutralize him personally. I think we're going to have to win
So good.
in spite of what he does to us. I think he's going to make some big plays. And he's going to get a couple of sacks, like you said. But that can't dominate the whole game. You're not going to stop the guy. He's going to make some plays, and we just have to. Though that happens, we got to find ways to win anyway. But he's tough. He's
He has
good.
6 sacks on the year already and 2 forced fumbles.
Yeah, he's great. Okay. Will Utah rush for 200 yards against their defense?
Yes.
No. Wow.
Any wise to that?
If Thomas is playing, I say yes.
Their strength is more pass rush, or sorry, their defensive strength is stopping the run more than it is stopping the pass. I think what was it? They allow 120 yards rushing a game is all. I think we'll have more than that. I think we'll be in the 180s, 190s. Breaking 200 would be, if we break 200, we win the football game. But I don't
see us
breaking
breaking 200 myself either. But I agree with you. If we were able to run the ball,
if we can run the ball efficiently,
gain 200 yards, the other side, besides scoring probably, would be we control the clock, and you want to keep those guys off the field. That's part of good defense is having the ball.
Yeah.
And if you can run the ball, you keep them off the field, and the clock moves. So if we can run for 200, I just can't see us doing it in this game. But will we throw for 250?
yes.
I don't know.
That's not an option. Think about it. Are we going to throw for 250 or not?
I can't say yes because I don't think we're going to throw and run for over 2. So I feel like I have to say no.
Then say no. Okay, let me say this. What would you rather do? Throw for 250 or run for 200? If you could pick one.
Doesn't matter to me.
No, that's not an option, Gary.
Well, that's not, no.
Answer my question.
You're
I'm turning the game on
around.
him. If you had to pick one.
Answer my question.
I said yes. She's the one not answering, but answer my question.
Okay, why did you say that we'll pass?
I think that their pass defense is suspect. I think that Rising will have a good game. I just think that we'll have more than 250 yards passing. I think that we have the talent outside to do it. And I think that they're so good at stopping the run that we'll be put in situations where it's 3rd and 7 where we have to pass the ball. I don't love it, but that's what I foresee coming.
I think we'll pass for more than 250. I don't think it, and I don't believe it will be because it's like at the end of the game, it's kind of a weird stat. I think that's just we're going to get it.
Yeah, I don't see it. They're blowing us out, so now we're
because of our
stats.
Our tight ends are going to be a factor. They're going to have to try to handle all three of them, plus out of the backfield with Bernard, our wideouts. I don't know. I just think we're going to get 250. So personally, if we could run for 180 and pass for 250, 260, we're right up around 400 or more. I'm okay with that balance.
He didn't answer my question.
I don't like this game.
Okay, here's an interesting thing. I looked at the QBR again this week for Rising. He's number 7
in the country.
In the country.
Oh my gosh.
I think he was 8. Wasn't he 8?
Yeah, he's moved up.
So he moved up. He had a great. His QBR was 92 or 3 or something last week.
And for me, the biggest thing that Rising is doing, he's protecting the ball. He's not turning it over. That is so key, especially in games like this. He's done a phenomenal job.
And Brown, the quarterback for Oregon, is number 34 in the nation. Okay?
Can I? I'm going to give you my 2 keys to this game real quick.
Let me finish on the QBR. The in the Pac-12, Rising is number 1 QBR in the Pac-12.
Oh my gosh.
Brown's number 5 QBR in the Pac-12. So the thing about Brown, the games I've watched, he can run. He's a threat. So he can run. He can throw. I mean, he's like a Daniels and the dude from UCLA and all these guys that can get out of the pocket and run. But I've watched some Oregon games and he hasn't looked very good to me.
So Brown, this is his
he's
6th
up and
year.
down, man.
He is
all
a
over the
roller
place.
coaster. Some throws you're like, that was an NFL throw. Other throws he misses a guy by 15 yards. It's crazy.
Yeah.
For me, I want him to throw the ball. That's where I want. I very much so like Daniels, who's the dude for UCLA that he didn't play this.
Robinson or whatever.
Yeah.
Thompson
Robinson.
No, it's DTR.
DTR. Thompson Robinson. If you can make him throw the ball where that's not necessarily his strength, by all means, that's where I want him to be. But it's when they get out and they scramble and all of a sudden they run down the sideline for 25 yards.
Yep.
That's what kills you.
The running back is Dye, though their backup is a young dude. He looked pretty good against Washington State. He rushed for like only 5 times and had over 100 yards or some weird stat. So it's Dye. He's not that big of a dude, but he's quick.
So he is my key to this game, is Die. Contain that dude. That he is their biggest threat. He's like, how big is this guy? I'm pulling him up right now. He's pretty freaking small. It says 5'10", 190. No. I bet he's 5'8", 170. He's
not quite that
tiny.
small.
Okay, he's not that small. But you'll know who he is because he's the only dude on the field not wearing gloves. He's shifty. He's really good. If you can contain him and make Brown throw the ball, that's going to be our best option on the defensive side.
Thanks, Coach.
In my opinion.
Okay,
I'm always right.
Will the Ducks rush for 200 on us?
No.
No.
Why?
It'll be close, though.
I don't want to give a why.
You're getting deep this
Why?
episode.
You say no. Well, you got to have a reason.
It's just a feeling. I'm just going off my feelings.
Dang, man, I hope not. If you remember last time we played them in the championship game, they ran all over us. And it was ugly. It was not fun. So,
Well, I don't know if I don't think they will. If they do, we're in trouble.
we're in big trouble.
Will the Ducks? Are they going to
Throw
throw
for
for
250?
250?
I see it more likely that they run for 200 than they throw for 250.
I don't know. I think they could throw for that much just because of our young corners.
Our defense needs to be the mentality of bend but don't break mentality. If the Ducks have 800 yards but they only get in the end zone, they get in the red zone a bunch of times, but field goals that come from it, great. But you're right, Brandon. Our defense is young and our secondary is young, so I can see them putting up a ton of yards on us. Just makes me nervous.
I don't know. You say what your keys of the game are. The keys for me is the O lines and the D lines. I mean, it's kind of a cliche, but if you remember 2019 going into the game against them, championship game, they dominated.
That's where we
they killed us.
lost.
They've kicked our butt, and they've got a good offensive line, man.
Yeah.
Some big boys. I was looking at them at that game and going, and so if they dominate our defensive line, they're gonna get 200 yards on the ground because they do run more than.
Yeah, when you think Oregon, you think this high flying team. No, they run the ball and they're very good at it.
They're great at this, and so if they're able to dominate us like they have in games past, we're in trouble. But vice versa, particularly our offensive line, if they can play like they've been playing, and we can dominate their defensive line, where we can open up the holes for our backs to run, then we're going to win. And so how does that counterbalance with the D lines against each other? So to me, it's the trenches that are going to matter because that's going to determine what Dye can do, what Thomas can do, what the quarterbacks have to do. We cannot get dominated by their offensive line again, or it's over.
That's my biggest concern is seeing some of the teams that have been able to run on us. I mean, Oregon State, for a prime example. Oregon's better than Oregon State, in my opinion, on the ground. So that is going to have to be a key. And our linebackers are going to have a really good game. But my key is contain Dye. He is dynamic and can catch the ball. He's so good. Contain him. And then on the flip side, is it Thibodeaux? I don't know how you pronounce his last name.
Thibodeaux.
Limit him. You can't stop him, but limit him. And I think that's going to be our best opportunity. These are two really good teams, though. This is going to be fun.
So does the weather
Is it?
does the weather favor Utah?
What is the weather?
Just cold.
No moisture,
I don't know
though?
because Oregon gets cold. I guess, I don't know.
I don't ask you the question.
I don't really think it plays a factor either way, a benefit or a detriment to either team. Because it's not supposed to rain or anything like that, I don't think.
No, I'm looking at it right
No,
now.
it's supposed to
just
be
gonna
cold.
Nah, I think
It'll be in the 40s by the time it's done.
I think it's a
wash.
It's a wash.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to help Utah because over Oregon because they play freaking Oregon. It's cold up there and it's wet and cold.
Yeah.
They had their game in Washington. It rained the whole freaking
So ugly.
time.
Playing in Washington would suck.
It's been pouring rain like the last 2 or 3
Every time I
games
turn on their
they've played up
game,
there.
it's like a freaking downpour.
Yeah, monsoon.
Okay, 2 more. Can we finish in the top 10 at the end of this year?
No.
When all's said and done, can we enter the top 10?
Yeah, you win out.
Okay, let's go. Why?
Yes, you beat Oregon twice, and then you play Oregon, you win. Colorado, you beat Oregon again, and then you play in the Rose Bowl and you play Michigan State, someone like that. You beat them, you'll be 9-10.
Okay, I hadn't thought that far ahead. I was just thinking.
You can't just no.
Well, okay, if we beat Oregon, yeah, they're third, but what? They'll bump us to like 15.
I said,
By the end of the
by
year.
the end of the year, can we be in the
Wasn't
top
paying
10?
attention.
Not after this game. I said at the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Absolutely, we'll be in the top 10. We'll be high up the top 10 if... Dude, what are you doing over there? Can you not hear... Jeez. The whole freaking... Listen to the playback of this thing. That isn't me, everybody. No, I agree with everything you said.
Of course you
Even
do.
if we...
I'm amazing.
Let me extend it. Say we were to lose to Oregon this time, but things played out where we still got to the championship game and beat Oregon, and therefore went to the Rose Bowl and won. Though we would lose this game, could we still make the top?
No, I think you're 12 to 15 at that point. I mean, you'd be a 4-loss team at that point. You're not going to be top 10 4-loss team. You'll be 15, 16, 17 in there somewhere, probably.
Yeah, but you lose to the third
I know.
ranked team. Then you would they're probably ranked like 7, maybe 5, 6 or 7, 5, 6 or 7. You beat them in the championship game, and then you beat another top 10 team in the Rose Bowl. You don't jump to the top 10.
No.
I bet you do, but
Let's go with the first scenario and find out. Beat
let's
them
just
twice.
win them. Let's just go
Yeah, let's
undefeated.
just
beat 'em.
beat 'em
but
on-
could we make
yeah.
the top 10? Though we're 23, we
Yeah.
could. That's
Well,
absolutely. It's right. It's
Well,
still
plus
there.
teams in front of us are going to lose all over the place, so yeah.
So here you go. Here we are.
Think this
Do we
one
win this
through.
game? Do we win this game? Give me your prediction right now.
Our score prediction?
Yeah. So do we win? Your prediction's going to tell us if you think we're going to win. That's true.
Yes, I think we're going to win. I have to think of the score. I'm saying 32-28.
Okay. 32-28 for Bryn.
Sponsored by Thomas Orthodontics. Thank you very much.
I do need to go see. My daughter needs to see him soon. That poor little tooth, by the way. It is janky.
Oh, I know.
I love my daughter dearly, but it kind of grosses me out.
My daughter has the same. Okay, go. Don't delay.
No, I've been thinking. I honestly have been putting too much thought into this today than I probably should have. I think we win. I really do. I think there's a lot of factors that go into it. My score is 34-32 Utah.
Yeah, we win 35-34.
It's going to be so close.
You already predicted that score earlier this year for a different
What
game.
does that have to do with anything?
I don't know.
I just this game, dude. It makes me nervous. It's going to be so close to the freaking
It's a
wire.
sweet. Let's go. Let's go. I want to be there right now.
1 point game, a 2 point
So what,
game.
Ute fans, what is your predictions? We'll put some up on Facebook so you can
Sound off.
tell us what you think. But it's I'm looking at 35.
Of course we win.
We win.
What?
All right.
Of course we win.
Let's go with the Jackass Award. We forgot
Oh,
it last
yeah.
week. Give us the Jack.
Okay. The Jackass this week, which I'm amazed that they have not received this yet
I am
this
too.
year. They have received this in the past
Well,
because
real quick, who's won our Jack Dick Award more?
The Jackass
these
Award?
people or Monson? Who's won it more?
maybe Monson. I don't know. The Jackass of this week is the Pac-12 referees. And any of you who experienced both the Utah-Arizona game and some of the other Pac-12 games this Saturday would agree with that. I
What are they watching?
have never yelled at a ref
Yeah, she was out of her mind.
as much
Oh,
as I yelled at that damn referee in our game right in front of us when he called targeting on
Vontae Davis.
Vontae Davis, who
It was Cole Bishop.
No.
I don't know. There was
the
so
one
many
that was
of 'em.
just didn't even touch the guy as they're going out of bounds.
yeah.
Oh, that
And then
one.
the flag comes flying.
Yeah, that
in.
one.
Yeah, and they called targeting, and then they're showing the replay, and he didn't even touch him.
Doesn't touch him. He like glances his face mask.
The
Like,
fact that in the game there was 2 targeting calls that then got reversed, that shows you how crappy they are. Let alone all the other phantom calls that we've already talked about with the roughing
Yeah,
the
they were
passer
crappy calls.
and the unnecessary roughness. But I do feel like the biggest one and the reason they get this Jackass Award.
Okay, but we don't forget right in front of us was Curry got
Oh yeah, they
freaking
missed
lit
that.
up.
Yeah,
It
that
was
was
like
targeting.
targeting.
How don't
He's
you call-
running and just
The
you
dude
could
gets hit from the
hear
side.
The helmet crunch.
No flag.
Nothing. No flag. No review.
So
nothing.
okay, and then
And then we were watching in a lovely dive bar in
was good. The
Arizona.
food
It
was
was
good.
good. We were watching the
still with me though.
ANSU Washington game. And if any of you have seen this play, is it their kicker
Yeah,
who's
so it's
running?
a fake punt. Fake punt hit.
The Washington kicker is running. The ASU guy just comes flying out of nowhere.
I mean, this is a penalty in 1970 when
Crash helmets. The Washington guy's helmet goes flying off. He gets up. He's bleeding. He had a bloody nose.
nothing.
Nothing. No flag. No anything. And we're all sitting there going, well, they're going to review it. I mean, you're just waiting.
where's the flag?
They're going to review it, right? No.
No.
There's a big play, too.
Yeah.
Then the next play starts. Not even a review. How?
It was the most blatant targeting, especially coming from the game we had just watched, where there was just these phantom calls all over, and then this dude just submarine helmet
His
first
head came off.
on a kicker, just blows the guy's head up. Nothing.
How is it that the people upstairs did not go, you need to take a look at this?
Let's go ahead and buzz down on this one. Yeah.
Refs.
Whoa, good timing.
The Pac-12 refs have been horrible for years.
They're
We all
so
know
bad.
it. Like I said, I'm shocked that they haven't had this happen so far this season, but for whatever reason on Saturday, it was horrible. So there you go. We'll send
They get
you
the Jackass Award.
Jackass Award.
We
That
don't like
was-
to give it to the refs because that can be an excuse, but hey. No.
Well, when you win and you still overcome the refs, you can really bitch about it.
Yeah, they deserve it.
They deserve it.
Well, there we have it. Saturday. Hey, people.
Gear up. I got to take my
Be there.
Imodium. I got to take my Pepto.
Start taking it now.
Be
I gotta-
there.
My stomach is all in knots.
As usual, we tailgate right across from the facility, up those stairs on the grass.
You'll see the beautiful banner.
banners there.
Don't
Come and
touch it.
say hi if you want. But I'm excited. This is
already
fun,
nervous.
man. This is fun.
Look, there are 2 games left in the whole freaking season.
Gotta enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
That is weird.
Isn't that sucky? 2 games.
2 games
Enjoy
in
it.
the regular season. Yep.
Yeah, but it's a great one. Let's go.
All right.
Utes.
Let's go, Utes.
Yeah.
60-7 Utah.
Ready?
That would be so nice.
Why not?
Let's get it.
We beat them at
Telling
Autzen
you
by
why.
1,000.
You can see
Do it
in their
again.
eyes, them boys ain't playing, they ready to ride. Shaking the tunnel,
We
just
will.
screaming and
We're gonna
yelling. If
win.
you ain't ready, you get eaten alive. Taking the field with loads of passion. Swagging out with the flyest fashions. Cameras out and they steady flashing. Captains out, we about to get it cracking. Full of crashing in between those lines. You boys, we about to ride. We're a band of brothers and we stick together like an army mission when it's wartime. We stacking them W's, pay attention. Opponents coming with apprehension. We stay on top of our division. Went from BCS buses to playoff contenders. We on the rise up. Now the boys mad. We had to tighten them boys up. We here for the crown. We on the rise up. Now the boys mad.
Missed it, man. You missed it.
We had to tighten them boys
Come on,
up.
Utes.
We
Let's
here for
do
the
it.
crown.